Welcome to Clover's Connected Classroom. My name is Beth Goff, and I'm the Instructional Technology Director for our district. I'm going to introduce you to the exciting initiative that will be filling all of our classrooms next school year. Our district mission is to prepare each child for a successful and productive future. We believe that these digital devices are going to help us accomplish that mission. We also believe that they're going to help us find these 4 outcomes true. We want to build digital citizens who are able to problem solve in collaboration with others to create innovative solutions. We're going to be building these digital citizens throughout the course of the school year and the years to come so that they know how to interact with others online to solve problems. We don't know exactly what challenges they will face as they enter college or career, but we want them to be ready to solve them. And just because we're handing them a device doesn't mean that we want them to always be plugged in and working alone. We want them to be able to interact and collaborate with others to create solutions, innovative ones, that aren't like the things that we've already heard of before. Because as you know, with technology changing, they're going to be faced with new challenges and new ways to solve those challenges. We want them to be competitive when they leave us. There are 4 guiding documents that have everything you could want to know about our connected classroom in print. The first of which is the mobile computing guide. It has all of the board policies, it has all the forms you're going to sign, it tells you about the day, procedures, it tells you what you need to know about if something happens to the device. So I encourage you to go to our website, which is at the bottom there. If you go to the Clover School District site and you add connected at the end, so our Clover address /connected, you will see a website that has lots of things to the left-hand side. You can click on the different categories. In addition to the documents like the mobile computing guide that you can read there, you will see answers to questions, real questions that we've been asked and questions that we think you might ask. So, does my device need a case? Look at the accessories page and you'll see, does my device need a case? And then the answer, no, if one is provided by the district, and it'll tell you which one. Do I need to buy earbuds? And it will explain each of the things that you want to know in a question and answer format. We want to make a promise to you as parents about the things that are going to happen in the classroom and the relationships that will stay true for your students. Our teachers are committed to learning for themselves. They've been learning to use iPads and MacBooks for a couple of years now. So the teachers have been using them as teacher tools and being able to check out them from a library or a tech lab to bring them into the classroom for small group use. Next year, every student will have access to those devices. So our teachers, having used them in a smaller setting, are ready to embrace using those with the whole entire class. They're going to use these devices to reach students effectively and differentiate what they get. One of the core values that was a smaller bullet in the 4 connected outcomes is that we provide a personally relevant education. And that means that each child that walks into a classroom has a different set of needs that we are going to assess and try to meet. So this is another tool to meet those needs. We're going to provide support in those tasks. We're not going to ask your students to go home and create a presentation if we don't first tell them how to conduct the research and to build the presentation. And the final one there is the most important. Technology will be used as an enhancement rather than a substitution for learning. Relationships are huge. Until students realize that we love and care about them, they are not going to care about the content that we present them. So relationships are huge. We are not going to hand them a device and say, hey, go be a 3rd grader, learn what you need to know about 3rd grade from this iPad. Hey, go be a 9th grader, get all of your coursework from your Mac Air. We're going to be using those devices in ways that engage students to collaborate with others, to create things with others. We're going to be working on that relationship first. We're not just going to use the device to use the device. It's going to be when it's most appropriate. We have great test scores in our district, something that we're proud of. If a master teacher decided that the best way to teach a certain concept involved something other than a device, then that's what they're going to do. We trust our teachers to make those decisions. It's not going to be 100% plugged in every day, all day. And we don't want that to be at home either, and I'll explain that in a minute. The district is providing each child in the district with a mobile device that has access to the internet and all of the apps and accounts that they will need to be productive. So the device they receive, pre-K2, is an iPad that will stay in the classroom. Grades 3-8, they will have devices that they can take home, provided some things that I'll explain in a moment. And then in 9-12, they will be able to take their Mac Air, a laptop computer, to and from school with them. When they are at school, they have access to the internet that is filtered and monitored. We cannot provide that same filtering when they are at home, nor can we provide that monitoring at home. So I'll explain that as a parent responsibility. Content and production apps will be loaded onto the device and assigned to your student's account. We are not going to ask them to go purchase apps from the App Store to create things that we're requiring in class. We'll talk about the accounts that they receive and why those are important in just a minute. Teachers, as I said in the pledge, are going to provide instruction in using the apps before they require an assignment. They're not going to say, you need to go create a keynote presentation on animals before they show students how to research and trust a website or decide that it's not the appropriate website. Once we pull information from there, how do we cite it? They're going to talk about Keynote and how you create slides and add images. They're going to go through all of the tech skills and research skills that they would have taught in the language arts classroom before they send those kinds of things home. Students have the same responsibilities that they've always had. Students will have a device that they take to and from school or that stays at school that they treat just like their textbook, their notebook, their agenda, the things that they already use as school materials. We want them to leave it in the case that it's in, free of marks, just like we ask them not to write in their textbooks. The difference is their copy of the textbook is a digital one that they can write in, maybe with a stylus, but they can write in it. They still have to complete schoolwork. They have to manage files on their device and turn them in. So just as if they would have been given a prompt to write a paper on, they would write the paper with a pen and pencil, or pen, pencil, and paper. They would go through that same drafting process on paper. They would do that on their iPad or their Mac Air. They would just word process it in Word or Pages. They do not have to have internet access to do the processing. They would have to have internet access to upload that assignment. So that is not going to be a piece that has to be done at home. Because we provide them internet access at school, they will have time during the day to download the things they really need to be able to word process at home, do their research, and then once they do their assignment at home, when they come back to school, they'll be able to upload those things. Devices are to be used as instructed, so teachers are going to give guidelines about what is appropriate, when are those things appropriate to do. Anything that happens outside of that could result in disciplinary consequences. Damages, because accidents do happen, are to be reported immediately to the teacher. The parent and guardian responsibilities are similar to the responsibilities you already have as a student. You're going to have to discuss age-appropriate device use. So you've probably had a conversation with your students about taking pictures of others with a normal camera. So if you have a digital camera on your iPad or your Mac Air, you still can't take a picture of someone if they don't know it, and you certainly can't post it. We're going to have those conversations at school. We want you to have those same conversations with your students at home. We also want you to monitor their use of the device, just like you would any other device in your home. If you're not going to let them take some other device and play in their room for 4 or 5 hours unsupervised, we ask that you do the same with the iPad. Ensure its proper care and maintenance. Know that they probably shouldn't be eating snacks and drinking drinks on top of it where accidents and spills could happen. The final one here is that devices are for student use. So if a visitor to your home, were to access something inappropriate and the device comes back to school with that material on it, it's the student's device that's monitored, and when that's found, the student is the one who will serve disciplinary consequences. The final piece of the parent responsibility is the technology insurance plan. Students in the 3rd through 12th grades will be allowed to take their devices home, provided that you have opted into this technology insurance plan. What does it do for you? Well, it covers 1 accidental damage, catastrophic loss per school year. So if the screen cracks, It's a $120 fee, and that is covered by your $50 fee. So instead of you paying $120 to repair the device, you've actually paid $50 at registration, and that is covered. Likewise, let's say something happens to your iPad. You're in a car accident and it's crushed, or something floods the device. It's somewhere charging and there's a leak, and water completely damages the device beyond its use and repair. It has to be replaced. One accident, regardless of that nature, if it's accidental, can be completely covered by that $50. Any additional charges that result from additional accidents would be the responsibility of the family. It does not cover repeated or intentional damages. So if it's the fourth cracked screen, then the first one was covered, the second, third, and fourth one are not covered, and those are paid by the parents. That said, we've had very low breakage rates for our student devices. Actually, less than 2% of our devices out of the thousands that are already deployed in the district have been broken by students. Intentional damages often result in disciplinary action, as well as the fee that you would have, whatever the damage fee would be. There is a hardship form both online and available at the school. $50 is the cost of the plan, and it will be due at registration. $50 may be unbearable for your family, and so we ask that you apply for a hardship and explain the need and what you need from us. Are you able to pay the $50, but you just can't pay it all at once? You need to pay it as 10 monthly payments of $5? Or do you have 4 children in the district, and so summer registration means $200? So you need us to be able to cover part of that. Those hardships will apply scholarships to, so that those students can still opt into the plan, have it covered in part by the district or that scholarship, so that they continue to have the benefit of learning 24/7. So in summary, although each student is assigned a device, the device is property of the district, so it will be monitored. The use of the device and any content that's on the device is the student's responsibility. Inappropriate or intentional misuse of the device does result in disciplinary action, which could include repossession of the device. That's the last resort, folks. We really want these learning tools to be used by the students, and so that's the last thing we're going to do, is take their textbook from them, because their textbook could be digital and on the device. Obviously, we have plans in place if that's necessary. Any fees that you need to know about could be found in the mobile computing guide. So when a screen breaks or when something else happens to the device, you can look on a list and see what the repair charges would be. Again, the first time the accident happens, regardless of the fee in the guide, it's covered by the $50 insurance plan. There are 3 key elements to the connected classroom, the first of which is the student's email, which is hosted by Microsoft, but it's on our Clover domain. That email address is what allows us to create accounts for your students, like their Apple ID. The second is that email address is provided by Microsoft and gives them access to their OneDrive, where they can store documents, presentations, Excel, spreadsheets. They can store all of their files in the cloud. They can retrieve those files from anywhere they have internet access. So their school's iPad or Mac Air, your home PC or Mac computer, an Android tablet, a Kindle Fire, any of those things that can go to the internet can get to the student's OneDrive. Also, those same devices can edit Word, PowerPoint, and Excel files through the Microsoft 365 web apps. So although you may not have those softwares installed on your computer, your students can still edit and create those documents online. My Big Campus is the third item. It is a learning management system where students can connect and collaborate with their peers and their teacher anytime they have internet access. This will be used to facilitate discussions and give them digital assignments. Granted, that's not going to happen for every assignment, especially at the start of school. We're going to build those relationships first, and we're going to determine what should be done in that type of environment versus in the traditional one. So it's going to be a transition. The last concept that I need to talk about is digital citizenship. and it's the concept that helps students understand the appropriate use of technology. There are lots of privileges that come with use, but there are a ton of responsibilities. We want you to have some of the same conversations we will have at school. It's not appropriate to take someone else's work, but it's so easy to do on a computer. You just copy and paste. So we want you to have those conversations with students just like we do. You can get resources for that on our connected website. Many of those are from commonsensemedia.org. Both of our website and the Common Sense website have age-appropriate conversations and materials for you to use with your students. That's enough me talking at you. If you have other questions, please check into the connected website or contact your student's school to ask those questions. They'll direct them back to me or someone else who can get to you quickly. But check our website often. As we are asked questions, we're trying to post the answers in a way that others can see them. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen and learn about what Clover's Connected Classroom is going to mean in the upcoming school year.